Hello everyone and welcome back again with the new topic, that is tunnel alignment and geological factors part 2. In previous lecture we discussed about the significance of lithological conditions as well as the attitude of the beds, that is strike and dip. Today in the present lecture we are going to discuss about the significance of major geological structures like fault, joints as well as the groundwater conditions. So first of all, let's discuss about the faults. Fault, fault zones and shear zones are highly permeable and hence easy groundwater passage may take place. The rocks are weak and unstable due to fragmented conditions in the faulted region. Inclined fault planes and shear zones at roof and along sides introduce additional complications in computation of rock pressure as well as the rock strengths. If active fault region is there, then more chances of the dislocation of the tunnel if it is excavated. Hence, if tunnel is intersected by fault planes or shear zones, it is most unsafe situation due to roof fall, side slips, dislocations and groundwater problems. Hence, the faulted regions are highly objectionable and unsafe for the excavation of the tunnel, and hence this should be avoided. Then another structure, that is faults, which are warping taken place due to the compressional forces in the rocks. Faults influence on design and construction of the tunnel because folding introduces considerable variation and uncertainty in the rock sequence, and entirely unexpected rock may encountered. Situation may serious if folding is not recognized properly during the survey or misinterpreted. Then folding of rocks introduces peculiar rock pressures. In anticlinal fold, loads of rock at the crust are transferred to the limbs by arc action, which may be highly strained. These conditions are reversed in case of the syncline. In such cases, rocks of core region are greatly strained. Axial regions, anticlinal or synclinal, suffered maximum bending and heavily fractured. The alignment of tunnel passing through folded region has to take these aspects in full consideration. When excavation is done in folded rocks, the strain energy is likely to be released immediately, soon after, or quite late to tunneling operations, very often causing the drained rock bursts. Folded rocks are often best storehouses of artesian water, and also they may act as a ideal aquifers. When encountered during tunneling, they could create uncontrollable situations, and that's why this should be avoided. The shattered axial regions, being full of secondary joint systems, are highly permeable. Hence, effective drainage measures are often required when excavations are to be done through such region. Hence, for tunneling, folded rocks are generally unsuitable because the affected rocks are under great strain. Hence, tunneling operations in folded rocks may cause collapse of roof, caving, or bulging of sides or floors, etc., and that is due to the release of the stored energy during the excavation of the tunnel. Then let's discuss the different conditions of the excavation of the tunnel through this folded area. That first condition is that suppose tunnel is excavated along the axis of the fold, then let's see what will happen, whether this situation is suitable or not. Comparatively, it is better to drive tunnel along the thick bed of limbs as shown in above figure by the letter small a, parallel to the axis of fold. This portion is comparatively stable as compared to the anticline and syncline, the limb regions, provided that the sufficient thickness are suitable for the excavation of the tunnel. Whereas along the crust, that is anticline, in the figure which is shown by small c, the folds, the bed contains numerous tension and other fractures. Therefore, if tunneling is made through them, frequent falling of rocks from the roof area may occur. Then another condition, that is if tunnel is excavated along the troughs, that is syncline, as denoted by B in the above figure, rocks are highly compressed, therefore being tough, rocks will resist for excavation, means tunneling will be difficult as well as the slow. Then another condition is that if tunnel is excavated across the axis of fold, this situation is highly objectionable, hence it is not advisable. In tunnels running perpendicular to axis of fold, uniform pressure conditions will be disturbed both in syncline as well as the anticline. No uniform sequence of stratification, hence difficulties will be encountered where strata is highly variable. Instead of a continuous type of lining system composed of adjoining rings should be adopted in this case. With some precautions, anticlinal fold may be better location than the syncline, with advantage include greater stability and less problem of infiltration. Then the joint system. The joints are the cracks or the fractures developed in the rocks, and these are the planes of weaknesses. This tends to close with the depth, but originally closed joints may become reactive and open up in the immediate vicinity of the tunnel excavation. Their presence and orientation has to be investigated properly. Jointed rocks are not self-supporting even though massive, hence it needs lining. Then groundwater conditions. Groundwater conditions in the region of the tunnel project is not to be underestimated. Groundwater conditions affect the tunnel rocks in two ways, that is, it erodes and corrodes the susceptible constituents of rocks and alters their original properties, that is rocks which are susceptible for the weathering, they gets altered. It affects the rock strength parameters by its static and dynamic water heads. Such actions may become highly pronounced when artesian aquifer is actually intercepted by the tunnel excavation. Tunnel should be above the groundwater table as far as possible. So, this is the significance or considerations of the uh, different geological parameters or factors in fixing of the alignment of tunnel. Thank you. Thank you very much.